not that anybody was outwardly rude to anybody, but there were a couple guys like Bundy and Jim Kamala that were just really down to earth guys. And Jim was very much that. I was expecting, I guess from just watching on TV, a guy that was pretty out there, or whatever, and he was just a pretty quiet guy. On top of it, not very loud voice. Just very accommodating and welcoming. And, as I remember him working with Mick, when Dominic was sending us up there to do jobs, he came back and was, real thankful to Mick and, and when you're a kid again, that first of all, walking into that arena, right, packed to the gills with people that know you're going to get your ass kicked, it's pretty intimidating. And so it was always nice when those guys like Savage did with me and, Mick got from Jim, to have those guys make you feel a little bit at home. And, I don't think I've ever heard anybody say something bad about Kamal, about Jim. He's just a really down-to-earth, great guy.
Seems to be the consensus. I mean, just a big teddy bear, and obviously one of the most unique gimmicks in the history of creation, and not even just wrestling, outside of wrestling. But he just transcended all the eras. He kind of could go wherever you send him. He was in all the territories. He fit the role perfectly. But I don't know, where would you say the defining Kamala place would have been? I mean, Memphis was where he got his start and great opponent for Jerry Lawler. But he also was like the perfect Hulk Hogan opponent when he got to the WWF. And everywhere else, just a great role player, great spot on the card, always slapping the belly, just always kind of had something to add. So where do you kind of say the defining Kamala spot was for him?
Well, personally, I would say in WWF, right? I mean, that was where, you have those iconic matches with Hogan and WrestleMania and, him being a part of that. You're right. He did, get a start in Memphis and, built a name for himself and was, any time you had a heel that could really garner up some heat in Memphis, it was a perfect foil for Lawler, right? The ultimate babyface in Memphis. But, when you go back and watch, I watched those couple links that you sent today of making, I guess, comments about those. But when you watch Kamala, you can see the old saying, not everybody wants vanilla. You certainly didn't get vanilla with Kamala, but you also didn't get top wrist locks and chain wrestling in the WWF then, where and I guess since, but where they took wrestling into quote unquote sports entertainment. He was perfect for that. That larger than life, gigantic man with the face painted up. And I remember the kids that would be in the audience and those infamous tweeners that Vince always talked about. They were genuinely afraid of this guy, right?
Yeah.
Like he would come to that curtain and the kids' faces were just like, whoa, like who is this? And it was always funny to us because you'd see that. And then right behind the curtain, Jim was Jim. And he'd go out there and get that reaction. But I'm glad for him that he had that opportunity because, again, not everybody in wrestling is going to be, a nuts and bolts wrestler. You need a little bit of everything to satisfy, like Bill Watts used to say, a little bit of everything at Thanksgiving dinner, not just one big pile of turkey. And the WWF offered places, spots to guys like Jim that had the wrestling business all been built around top wrist locks and chain wrestling. You'd have never heard of Kamala. But, Kamala goes down in the annals of wrestling as, one of those larger-than-life characters, both physically and in stature of his character. Just a great guy.
Bro, I hope you enjoyed that clip. Please remember to ring the bell to get notified, subscribe, and share. And also remember, if you want more premium content, just go to russosbrand.com and patreon.com/Russo TWC. You will get 12 shows a week for under the price of $10. Russo's Brand, where pros are pros.